Hello everyone, it is Christine here and I'm back for a bit of a different episode today, but I thought I would start out by sharing the last few days of my button advent calendar with my Nana's beautiful old buttons in it, and the little advent calendar that I made with them last year. And so I haven't done the last few days, so we've got the 7th, the 8th and the 9th to do today. So I thought I'd kick us off with that, and then we're going to be moving on to doing some cooking together. Because some of you said you'd like to share in some Christmas recipe making. So isn't that one a beautiful little button? Let me bring that one up for a look. So that's number 7. And then we'll move on to number 8 if it wants to come out. And we've got this lovely little metal inlaid tortoiseshell button. And then number 9, complete with a bit of thread scrap. Oh, we've got a beautiful little glass button that looks like it would have originally had maybe some painted surface over here, but it's sort of worn off, but you can still see it around the little indentations. So that is our button calendar, advent calendar so far. And I'll try and remember in future episodes to get back to that tomorrow for day 10. So let's just take that out of the way and then we'll move on to the cooking component. So we are going to be making today some beautiful biscotti, and that's the just initial step in the recipe. Let me show you the book that I am taking it from, and hopefully the oven's not making too much noise for you. It's a book called Gifts from the Kitchen, 100 Irresistible Homemade Presents for Every Occasion by Annie Rigg. I got it a good number of years ago, and it's one of my favourite recipe books for getting Christmas recipes from, and I've got some that are very well-worn pages, as you can see, and where I've done my own sort of tweaks to the base recipes. And this one was originally a recipe for biscotti with almond and figs, but I adapted it first of all to be pistachio and cranberry, but now I make a cranberry and pepita or pumpkin seed, because it's great for those that have nut allergies. Pepitas are more affordable than pistachios, and the cranberry and the pepita together are just the perfect festive colours, as you can see over there. So I'm making a 4 quantity this time around. So I've actually added 670 grams of cranberries and 600 grams of pepitas. And rather than the recipe which uses for a single quantity 1 large egg and 1 large egg yolk, I just used 7 whole eggs, so I didn't have to go through the separation process. But everything else I've used is the quantities in the recipe for the flour, etc. So I'll give you a single quantity recipe in the description below this video. And I'll give you the option of using the eggs like this, or you can potentially, I'd say even you could just use 2 large eggs, and don't worry about sort of, unless you want to save the egg white for something. But yeah, you can look in the description below for the recipe with my adapted version for a single quantity. But as I mentioned, I am making a 4 times quantity. So there is a lot here. So what it has in it is, flour and pepitas and cranberry, lemon rind. I also used some, not rind, zest. I also used some orange zest as well. And I find the easiest way for mixing it and shaping it is to pop on some gloves and then just massage down into it like this. I've pretty much done it anyway, but I'll just sort of show you my method when I'm mixing the flour in. And if you're making a 4 times quantity, you will need a large bowl. So the next step in the process then is to shape it into the loaves. So I'll just put my tray down here. Apologies for the clanging around. And then I grab a bunch of it. And as you can see, it holds together pretty well. You want a consistency of this. It needs to kind of be shiny and malleable, but not, it doesn't really sort of stick. As you can see, it's not sticking to my hands. I'll move these ones out of the way and move this up into frame. And so you don't want to make them too thick, because they'll be kind of harder to cut because we shape them first of all into these logs and then we bake them in the oven. Again, I'll give you all those details in the description below. And then after they've baked and cooled, we then slice them up into slices and then they go back in the oven for a second baking. So that's about the thickness, maximum thickness I would want. Then grab another one here. First time doing a cooking video. I used to teach cooking classes as a little fun pastime. But they were in-person classes. They were great fun. A lot of work though, a lot of prep goes into a cooking class. But it was fun sharing recipes I'd collected around the globe, as well as I think I did some Christmas cooking classes as well. These just make the house smell so divine, and they keep fantastically. That's why I can make them now, and I've even had them sort of a good number of months after I've baked them, and they keep wonderfully. Let me just grab another tray. I had actually started shaping some of the initial ones on this tray. So I like them chock full, so I think I do definitely use more pepitas and things than the recipe, but I'll give you the single quantity sort of broken down from the larger quantity that I've made. And then you can either put more or less, but yeah, this is probably as bumper filled as I can get mixed into it. And I just like to sort of, if I have any that are sticking out like that, I just sort of push them into the mixture. Last of the mixture out of the bowl. Just scrape it out with my hands. I know I'm off of camera a little bit, but hopefully you're enjoying the nice look. If you could smell it, it's got the vanilla essence as well as the smell of the zest from the orange and the lemon. It's got that butteriness as well to it. When you make a large quantity, it's actually scary when you see how much sugar, for example, you put in, but it's all part of the mix. But yeah, if you like different things, you could put different nuts or fruits in. It's really one of those very adaptable recipes, but it's always been a reliable recipe, and I just do my little tweaks if I want to it. But as you can see, it's pretty easy this stage. Make that as bits thinner. So making them this weekend, so I've got some from a work Christmas party. Thought they'd be nice to take along. Who knows, I might even need to make another recipe. It's another batch because they tend to be very popular. And I love eating them. They're one of my favourite Christmas things that I make. So those are now ready to go into the oven. So I've got, 6 of them, 6 logs, and they will go into the oven for, let me just go back to my recipe book. The oven has been preheated to 180 degrees or 350 Fahrenheit. And they are going to go into the oven for about 35 to 40 minutes on the middle shelf. So I will pop the camera off now, and then I'll come back and show you when they come out of the oven and they've cooled and we can slice them up. Okay, so I am back and our logs have been baked in the oven and I've let them cool down completely. So keep your baking paper on your trays and get a board that you can cut on. And then we're going to slice these into 1 centimetre wide approximately pieces and put them back on the tray. You can reuse the same baking paper trays. I like to use a bread knife for this, but a nice long knife that you can get a nice clean cut through. So just like that. Travis the dog is standing beneath me. He's thinking, those smell good, because the house just smells amazing. If you make these, you'll have a house that smells like Christmas. Alex and Travis came home from visiting with his parents, and Travis came rushing into the house, obviously smelling all the good smells. I'll have to check, but I think dogs can have cranberries, so he might get a tiny little taste test if that's the case, because I know they can have pepitas. And don't worry if it goes a bit on the diagonal, the book actually says to cut them on the diagonal. And if any pieces break, they're the taste testing pieces for the cook. So you actually end up needing more tray space than you had the first time around, because once you cut them all down, they take up more space on the tray, and you just want to lay them in a single layer. Once they fully cook, they'll be really cohesive. At this stage, they're just still sort of moist in the middle, not really moist, but they've still got to do that drying, final cooking stage. And you can cut quite a few pieces at once and then put them on the tray as well. And so then we're going to put them in a 170 degrees C or 325 degrees Fahrenheit oven for about 20 minutes until they are crisp. So you want them to be dried out in the centre. I'll pop these ones into the oven. Slice the second tray as well. So yeah, if you tried to do this when they were hot, you'd really struggle. So you definitely do want to let them fully cool down. But I'll pop all that in the description in the recipe. So I'll get these ones onto the tray as well as the 4 other logs, given I did a 4 times quantity this time. I'll get these into the oven, and then I'll come back and show you when they've come out of the oven and they're ready for taste testing. So I'll see you soon. So I'm back and I've got the biscotti out of the oven, and don't they look absolutely delicious? They're still hot. The smell is absolutely amazing. So you cook them until they're fully set and golden. It's okay if they're also a little bit lighter than that, as long as they are fully hardened up, because that will help them keep as well, if they actually keep, because they are so delicious that you'll probably find you're going to devour them with glee. So I'll have to make sure I package right up so I don't eat them all before they make it to their recipients. But I hope you enjoyed that little glimpse into my kitchen and the first of my little Christmas recipes that I'll be sharing. Thanks everyone, take care. I hope you're having a lovely lead up in the festive season. Stay safe and stay happy. Bye everyone.